arm's hurting.
Already? What is up, guys? I know you saw my 2020 Pro XP get the PRP seats installed. That was probably a few videos back. You saw the carnage from Lou's machine. You should have seen the carnage from Jesse's machine. Thankfully, Steph and I didn't really have any carnage from Tennessee. As far as broken parts, we had what I consider minor. Steph had some plastics rearranged, no big deal.
It's fine.
Some extra scratches. Same goes for me. Fender delete doors. I mean, they did their job, but the prettiness of it didn't last long. We did get into something on Trail 15, and we got into some stuff.
The root, or is it a rock right there? I can't.
I think it's a rock. Not too sure, but I know this happened going up 15.
Yeah.
We did have that. Unfortunate, but overall, I love the fenderless design, and that's probably why this happened, because now I know there's no plastic here, so I just kind of ran it up into everything. I did this almost instantly on the first trail. I backed into Destiny. This side, less dense, but we did get into some stuff. If you didn't watch our Tennessee trip, both sides had a sticker, our new logo, and it says somewhat Haggard underneath it. Stickers lasted one day, not even, half day. So really everything we're addressing in this video is stuff that was wrong with this before Tennessee that we didn't have time to fix. So we do have super sloppy lower ball joints, and we're gonna let them ride. This machine has been through 2 sets of lower kryptonite ball joints in under a year, and still the same uppers. Steph has the same exact ball joints on hers, and she's been through none. So it's looking like the kryptonite ball joint thing, maybe they're not the best, maybe they're decent, but it's probably more of a me issue.
Say maybe it's you.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
Going into our Windrock trip, it was a race to get this machine done, to get Steph's machine done, scrambling to get everything together. And as you fix things, you find more things that are wrong. And that's what we're going to address today. As I was working on this, found that I need a carrier bearing. Took a look underneath the machine. Just by looking under the machine, you could tell that I needed a cross member as well. Without taking it apart, this is how I know that my cross member is cooked. You can see there's a heavy curve going up. Without taking it off, we don't know the extent of the damage, but we know that the cross member itself is going to be bent based on how the skid plate looks. And while I had my greasy sausage fingers all over that stuff, I realized that I have sloppy U-joints going into Windrock. I knew I needed U-joints, cross member, and carrier bearing, but ran out of time. So we're going to address that stuff now.
Do it. Do it.
Ooh-wee.
So we have my cute little cart here, and this is the stuff we're putting in. Now I have replaced the cross member once before, and I put a factory one in, and that was like 80 bucks or something, but I bent it again right away, even with the 1/2-inch thick skid plate. This piece I decided to try, I think this was about 130 bucks. L&W Fab. It's not the crazy billet one, but it is thicker and beefier. We'll do a comparison when we get the old one out, but I went with this because it kind of looks like factory, which I think I need to be able to run this. And this, you may have seen on this channel already. because we've covered it on Dude's machine, but it's the Sandcraft carrier bearing. All this stuff, hardware, receipt. And with this bearing, it shifts your driveline angle. I believe it straightens it out. So your normal carrier bearing mounts here and cradles down in here, whereas this piece sits in here. So it's a little bit different mounting, and I'm not sure if you do get the billet one, if it'll work. It might, but again, this was like 130 bucks, something like that, versus I think it's 300 and something for billet. So I'm gonna take my chances with this one. It should be stronger than OEM by quite a bit. So now to the interesting one. I did a lot of research on U-joints. I don't know if these are the right ones. I don't know if they're gonna work. That's yet to be determined. I hope they will. This is a lot cheaper than going with factory stuff or doing like the full Sandcraft driveline. Just don't have funds to do stuff like that, so we're gonna try and make this work. This is like auto parts store shit you can get. I got it all through Amazon. I researched on a lot of the Facebook groups, and these are numbers that I found people are using. So first, we have the Spicer 5-1503X. This is for the rear. Now this will be specific to a 2020 Pro XP. 21s use a different style. So this is 2020 only, and this is on the trans. These two are Moog 338s. And these should both work on the other two. So you have one up by the diff, and you have one at the front of the rear prop shaft. They should be the same, and these should be comparable. I'm really hoping they are. I'm hoping you guys are right on Facebook.
Ooh.
Because the internet is always right, right?
Sure.
Please be right. I know a lot of people end up breaking prop shafts before they wear out U-joints, which who knows. We may never wear out a U-joint again, and we may only break prop shafts as tires get bigger and stuff. But
such.
and
such
and stuff. But in the event that we do need to work on these, I decided to give myself less of a headache. And I got this bad boy from Rocky Mountain ATV. It's a Tusk U-joint press. So this should make life easier doing this, removing the U-joints. There are multiple methods to removing them, different types of presses. I have a ball joint press that would probably work, but it might be more of a pain in the ass. I know people use a vise, but taking all this shit out and then putting it all back in is enough of a headache. So this thing's like 50 bucks, and I figured it's just worth getting to have less of a headache, because realistically I'm probably not going to be the only one that needs this. We have covered taking this shit apart a bunch of times already, so we're not going to film that. I'm just going to get the driveline components out of the machine, and when we start replacing stuff, we'll pick this video back up. I don't know if it's all going to be filmed today. In fact, I can tell you it's not all going to be filmed today. When you're seeing this, we're probably at the Badlands bash, but as we're filming this, this is beginning of May, so this is kind of prepping for the Badlands. And once we go to the Upchurch concert at the Badlands, starting then, we got trip after trip basically, so want to get some of this little nuisance stuff out of the way in case we have any actual breaks.
Yep.
So we'll pick this back up when I got some shit apart.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And just like that, got the old crap out. You can see the bend. Supposed to be more like that. The bearing's not completely froze up, but it is tough to turn. And it's got some like sticking points to it, so time to change that. As far as the U-joints go, none of them are broken. Like this one's kind of been like this for a while, but it is very crunchy, and this direction is hard to turn. As you can see, it kind of pops, so it's sloppy, it's worn, so we'll get this swapped out. This one's kind of the same way, very crunchy, and the back one is, I don't know if it'll focus, but this one's not really crunchy, but it's sloppy. There's a lot of play in it, so we want to get this one swapped out too. The 20s are different as far as what U-joint you use, and how it fastens to the transmission is different. So the 20s use the little like automotive type strap, whereas the 21s and up, like dudes, I'm pretty sure it just slides on the splines. So different U-joints. So keep that in mind if you're watching this for Pro XPs. If you don't have a 20, your U-joint at the transmission will be different. Got the old one removed. Probably better ways of doing it, but you know, a hammer works. Alright, we're going to start with this rear one. We got to get these two clips out. So we just need some snap ring pliers. Next up, got to figure out how to use this tool from Tusk. Should be pretty straightforward. I think it's just something like this. You can just sandwich her in. Then we just use a 23 mil. So this was the inside of one of them. Not supposed to be able to just dump all your needle bearings out. Next up, we're going to install this Spicer 5-1503X and hope this actually fits. This one is also greasable, so they give you a little grease zerk here, and it goes in here, so that should be nice. Well, it doesn't slide right in, so that's a good start. So the provided clips with the Spicer U-joint definitely won't work. Here's the factory one. I don't know if it'll focus, but big difference. We're going to take one of our caps off. We'll set that to the side. And then we will slide this guy in like this. So we're going to take this first cap and press it in just down far enough so we can get the snap ring back in. Alright, she's seated. So now we're going to repeat the process for the other side. So we just got to drive her down far enough to get the snap ring in. And then this side's done. That one's seated nice. Spins freely, so we're good to go here. So this side's done. Still got to do the other side. I'm going to take the front prop shaft, take it inside, throw it in the freezer. I found that helps a little putting the carrier bearing on, so go do that, and then I think we'll do the other side of this one. So on this style, as you can see, there's no outer clip. It's on the inside here. It's right here. You can see the edge of it right here. So we got to get this guy out. There's one up here, one here, one here. And then we can press this U-joint out and replace it. Alright, so as you can see, it's off. Didn't go as planned. So battery died, so you guys didn't get to see what I did. Basically what happened was, as I pressed down, remove cap, I was going to press it back the other way to remove the cap, and it got cocked and got jammed up in there. I got aggravated, and in true somewhat Haggard fashion, I just cut it off. Put a nice little slice in there. Here's the other piece, and yeah, I basically cut it, and then I used a screwdriver and punched that guy through and removed it. So we still have to remove this one, but yeah, my own stupidity. I just I didn't notice it was cocked, and yeah, I definitely did a number on the bore of this one here, so it's gonna be some cleaning I gotta do, but we got it. We're getting somewhere. Another one, bone dry. Hello. Hello. She's out. So it only kicked my ass and I had to cut one, but we got it. Finally. So now we're just going to take this Moog 338 and install it. Doesn't slide right in, so looks like I didn't take too much material off. I just hope it doesn't gall up and seize, but we'll see. That looks about good. It's installed. Got both clips in, both seated. Moves freely, so we're good there. Same deal, just waiting for that groove to expose itself to us so we can get the clip in. That sounded dirty. Grab our new end cap. And bring her on down. Woo! Look at that. This shaft is done. Right now, we're just going to install the new Sandcraft carrier bearing onto the frosty shaft. Steph will kill me if I leave this in the freezer all week. So you get a little brass ring. One side has a heavy chamfer, and that's going to go down. We'll slide this guy on. So we just got that shouldered. To put that on, it needs to be a little smaller than this. And to put the bearing on, they say I think it's 1.125 or 1.25 ID tube. This is a mag light. I didn't have time to go get a tube and cut it when I was doing Steph's. So I had a perfectly functioning mag light sitting here. It was close enough, so I cut it. And that's what I use. So we'll put some of this green Loctite, this retaining compound, on the OD of the shaft. So then we're going to take our Sandcraft bearing. The snap ring is going to go down towards that brass bushing. Like so. And then we'll take our tube. And we'll tack her on. That looks like it's seated. Spins freely, so we're all good. So all we got left is the front U-joint, which is also going to be a Moog 338. I'm not going to film it. It's the same exact process as the other one, same U-joint. So I'll get this swapped out and then I'll catch back up with you guys.
One eternity later.
So we're back on Project Shit Show, my 2020 Pro XP. I think in the last clip I may have said, hey, we're going to flash to when we're done because, you know, it's all the same. Well, I screwed things up, so I'll let you guys know what I did here. So I think we're like a couple weeks ahead of the last time I made a clip on this project. And we now happen to be 4 days before our trip to the Badlands for some of the group for the Upchurch concert. Yeah, I think I got 4 days to get this figured out. So a couple weeks ago, it was after work on a Friday. Gonna just slap it all back together, real easy. Well, I got another U-joint stuck, an old one, and I had to cut that one out as well. I think in the process of trying to get it unstuck and not cut it out, I may have bent the yoke. And this, I'm talking about the front yoke here that goes on your diff. Well, as you can see, I have one of the Moog 338s partially installed, and it's seized in here. So I think this yoke is bent. I tried putting it on a hydraulic press, and it just seems like I'm going to destroy this yoke. So instead of screwing around with this, I ordered a new yoke, which we have here. Brand new. So now the goal is to not screw this one up. While doing a little extra reading on which U-joints people are using. I did see some people struggle with the Moog 338s. So I'm not saying that it's because of a Moog 338 that this happened. There's a solid chance it's just me. But I also did do some reading, and I have seen other people do similar stuff trying to use a Moog 338. Now I do have one Moog 338 in the rear prop shaft that installed perfectly fine. It's already in the machine. I did that. I already reinstalled the rear prop shaft. That's done. So while doing a little further research on which U-joints people are using, I also did find a spicer, which I have all the way in the rear. People are saying the 5-170-1X, this guy here. So we're going to try to install this in this and get that machine going. If I want this machine to go to the Badlands at the end of this week, I pretty much need to have it done today. It's a Memorial Day today, so if I don't get it done, I'm not going to really have time during the week. So, got to get this done. Even though I'm a certified YouTube mechanic, I knew there was risk of stuff like this. One, it's me, and I'm being impatient, rushing. Two, you're trying to install non-OEM parts in OEM parts, so you do run that risk. I will tell you that the Moog 338, you know, it did work in the rear prop shaft. That got installed. So I didn't even bother trying to remove this. This Moog U-joint is 15 bucks. I think the spicer's 30. It just wasn't worth it. That one went in smooth. Everything moves freely, so we're good. I think we did it. Alright, so we are ready to install the front prop shaft and the new Sandcraft carrier bearing and the new L&W Fab Crossmember, which I have here. This guy, the factory one, is cooked. So we're done with that. We're gonna try this one out. It's definitely way thicker. So see how long it takes me to bend this one. So I think we're gonna throw you guys to a smaller camera that can get under the machine with me, and we're gonna put all this shit in. Slide this in and off to the side of the diff. There is one that's a double key, so it's just try to line that up. It helps if you mark the shafts when you take it apart. There we go. So push that all the way in, and now we can slide the front over. I don't have a good way of filming me sliding the front over. Just remember that you have that hole that you got to line up, that where the factory roll pin is. With this Sandcraft kit, you now put a nut and bolt through there, so you want to make sure you got that lined up perfectly so this guy slides right through.
A few moments later.
So now we got our drive shafts in, everything's snug down. We put that new retaining bolt in place of the roll pin through the front diff. We got that snug down, so now we're ready to install that new L&W Fab Crossmember and kind of finish setting up the new Sandcraft carrier bearing. So with the new bearing, it's a little bit different. It doesn't actually go in the cradle. It goes through this bottom piece, and you use these two pieces to kind of clamp this around the crossmember. So I'm going to get these started. They provide you with hardware. We'll put a little blue Loctite on these. These pieces are labeled top and bottom. So we'll slide the top one in. Crossmember's tighten. There's still one more bolt that goes down through the interior into here. Still got to do that. We're not worried about that right now. We're going to let the carrier bearings self-align, so we want these loose. We're going to rotate the tires, which rotates the prop shaft, and we're going to let that carrier bearing just kind of self-align, and then we'll snug it down. Well, alright, it took me forever, but we're all back together. Still got to go take it for a test drive, make sure everything's alright. It should be, though, assuming it is. She's good enough for the Badlands. Hopefully she's good enough for the Badlands 2 weeks in a row. The U-joints were a pain in the ass. Probably easier just to break your damn drive shaft and replace the whole drive shaft than deal with this shit. Ideally, my new winch line shows up before we leave, but that's going to be tight. But that's what I get for ordering it a few days before we leave, so that one's also on me. So I made a decision. I sat in the machine quite a bit, and I was pretending to drive, and I need to lower the seats. It's too high, so for the Badlands trip, I'm not going to be running the PRP seats, and that's why. There's nothing wrong with them. It's too high for me. I just don't like the seating position, and my head is a little close to the bars, right here. So I'm less than a fist sitting in the seat the way it is, and I don't know. It's just too over the top of the steering wheel. I think I know what lowering bases I'm going to get. It's just a matter of getting them, because those are $300 or something like that. So when I get them, then we'll be going back to the PRP seats. So I think when you guys see this video will be the day after the Badlands bash. So if we saw any of you guys there, it was great. We still have West Virginia coming up. We have Hollerwood, we have Crashapalooza, we have the Miley Harvey benefit ride, and those are the ones that I know of for sure right now, and we'll see what else comes up. So if you want to support us, and you also want these videos ad-free and uncensored, check out our Patreon. The link's in the description below. It helps us immensely, and you get ad-free, uncensored videos. You also get your name to trickle down or up all the videos. If you need parts for your side-by-side, check out our G-Life UTV affiliate link in the description below. If you get some parts from them and you use code Haggard5, that'll save you a little coin. I know every little bit helps. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
What is happening? I'm like, I feel loopy.